Charlotte was introduced to Eternal Return as an easy-to-pilot support character, ideal for learning the game. She has straightforward support tools, a button for slowing, a button for healing, a button for shielding and escaping, and a button for invulnerability. Whether she's on your team or you're against her, you know what she's going to do in each fight. But does her kit make her the best heal kitten in the game? What's poppin' everyone, it's your boy Levi, and let's talk about how Charlotte matches up to the other supports. We'll be looking at her healing, shielding, and offensive versus defensive capabilities. Charlotte offers more reliable healing than Johann on basic abilities. Johann needs a QW or an EW combo, while Charlotte just presses W. Her heal is an auto-targeting heal that focuses on the lowest HP target in her range. The only way that you can mess it up is by healing too early and not getting the full heal on your target, or being so out of position that your target isn't in range and it heals the wrong teammate. Johann's heal is a skill shot, which means you can miss it, though it's very hard to. Charlotte's heal also self-heals, however Johann's R healing far surpasses Charlotte's healing capabilities. With tools like Second Wind Tactical Skill, Charlotte does enough healing to be effective in a team fight, but I wouldn't consider her the best flat healer in the game. Charlotte definitely has the weakest shielding among supports. Leon's shield, though small and diminishes quickly, can be cast from range and doesn't put him in danger to use. It also shields both his teammates in range and himself. Charlotte must dash to a teammate to give them a shield, which is fine for absorbing poke and neutral, but it's not great for saving a frontline. Using her E-dash to shield a teammate removes her only escape, and she doesn't even shield herself. Charlotte hardly puts up a fight against Leon's mid-shielding. She doesn't even come close to Priya's capabilities. As one of the best shielders in the game, Priya's reliable shielding comes with QW. She can fully shield a team, but again, while hard to miss, she can miss, unlike Charlotte's point-and-click E. Priya's shield also provides a small heal. If you're considering an offensive support for your team comp, Charlotte isn't ideal. Charlotte has no backline threat in terms of damage. I know there's a Strider Charlotte build floating around NA at the moment. It's not real, don't fall for it. Just play Theodore or Arda if you want an offensive support. They're much better options. And I do use support very loosely for those two. Charlotte's healing is much more consistent and easier to hit than Theodore's, and while it keeps up with Arda's consistency, if he's hitting every spell, it is a bit stronger and much more reliable. Theo and Arda feel more like backline damage dealers that have a heal than healers that do damage. Even compared to the hybrid support Lenny, Charlotte falls short offensively. Lenny's healing is less reliable, but her shielding is more dependable. Charlotte shines in peeling. She has excellent peel tools with W, E, and R, obviously. When paired with another backliner, her E can be used to escape to their side if either her or that teammate is getting dove upon. It also follows teammates through walls, making it a good escape if you have a backline free hitting from over one. Her ultimate is her big peeling tool. It makes anyone in the space invulnerable for a short time after a cast. It's very effective against telegraphed abilities such as Bianca R and 11E, but it's not great against teams that can disengage well and bait it out. She can cast it and then E-dash with it, making it easy to save the target if well timed. She consistently peels throughout a fight, surpassing the constant peel that a Shukai or a Mai can generate. Even after her R is burned, W and E can be consistently cycled to peel. Shukai and Mai are typically only going to get 2, maybe 3 rotations of W and E in a fight. What Charlotte lacks is the frontline tankiness of a Shukai or a Mai, meaning she can't reliably create space for her carry like they could. With all these tools, Charlotte is a jack-of-all-trades support, but instead of being a master of none, she's a master at the death defy. She's overloaded with support tools, making her not the strongest in any one particular job, but she's definitely not the worst either. Her kit aligns with her purpose. As the introductory character, she's easy to play and allows new players to focus on learning the game while they pilot her. She forces players to learn good positioning and timing, 2 very good skills to have. Her Q isn't entirely useless. It slows, making initiations easier for others, and it locks onto her target if close enough, so she doesn't have to be the most accurate with her spells. It is still by far the weakest part of her kit. Having good timing on abilities is a skill that needs to be learned, and while you're learning that skill, it's a weakness to your team. Fumbling your timing on the heal can lead to wasting its full effect, and not timing your ultimate can lead to it being wasted. Charlotte's lack of a hard CC also means that she'll struggle to lock down targets and can only assist a teammate who has hard CC. She's also not a very good rat. Since her E is a conditional dash, limited to teammates, and additionally can put her in danger, she is also stranded as a dashless squishy if caught on her own or the last to be alive. Charlotte, being an Arcana character, has no transition item for her weapon either. At the time of writing this, her base purple weapon is her best in slot weapon. This is because none of the transition Arcana weapons have increased healing on them. While this will make for a cheaper transitioning, only having to transition 4 items and a tactical skill, she will always be capped on base weapon stats. Facing Charlotte can be frustrating, but it's also very formulaic. Enchantress supports like her should be targeted initiative first in a team comp, forcing them to use their support tools to self-heal. If you're playing a dive comp or a very all or nothing comp, focus on flanking and killing her before she gets her ultimate off. In a front to back comp, bait out her ultimate and then back off if you can. There's a sweet spot you'll need to back off to where you can't back off too much or her team will leave and wait for the cooldown. For solo queue, I've personally had the most success with a standard 1 tank, 1 marksman comp. She fills the second backline slot, and the marksman being the primary damage dealer and the tank extending the fights allows her to get multiple spell rotations. This is the easiest comp to execute in Eternal Return as well, as everyone has their roles. The marksman does the damage, the tank absorbs damage, and the support supports. One effective comp we've seen this season is a frontline Shukai paired with a Charlotte, and a high damaging marksman. I plan to do a future video on team comps, so subscribe to stay updated. Charlotte still has the potential to work in other comps, but isn't as strong. Pairing her with a bruiser frontline can be rewarding, but harder to execute. She can help soak some of the damage that they can't take from not being a tank, but can run into trouble if they're a diver, and have to jump in with them. Charlotte pairs worse with other backline supports and mages. Backline mages are some of the safest characters in the game, and don't need someone to help heal them in most instances. They all tend to have some type of self-healing tool, and since Charlotte typically takes up a backline damage slot, a lot of mages can have trouble when being the solo damage dealer. The key mechanical tip for Charlotte is starting her R channel from a safe distance, and then using E to dive onto your target before it pops. The R doesn't make allies invulnerable during the startup, so R-ing is much more effective than E-R-ing. And to answer the question, is Charlotte the perfect heal kitten though? Kind of. It's hard to call her the best heal kitten when she's not even the best healer we have. That title is still held by Johan, but she is well more of a kitten-like character than Johan. Charlotte fits the kitten character mold of a character that follows their team around, doesn't have very interactive gameplay, and can provide assistance to a much more skilled higher elo player. The amount of effort that you have to put into this character to be effective is not very high, and that's why I think she is the best heal kitten. In a game as complicated as Eternal Return can be, that's not necessarily a bad thing. Learning Eternal Return can be tough, and finding the right character can be even harder. Click or tap the screen now to watch my Who to Main in Season 4 video to find out if you're the type of player that should play Charlotte, or if maybe you should try one of the other recently released characters.